previous video, I was talking to you about setting terms for any sort of interaction with another person. So this is quite easy and straightforward if you're offering a service and you have a contract. You're setting the terms. You're making the agreement. It becomes more ambiguous and not as clear when it's just in a friendship. Well, of course, if you're dating someone and you go through the whole process of dating them and meeting them and getting to know them, which is sort of rare these days, then you have time to talk about what you like and what you don't like. And you have time to say, this is something I'll accept and this is something I won't accept. But sometimes, these days, we rush into these relationships. And then we wake up one day and realize that that person's not really respecting us, and the things that we accept and we don't accept are not being taken into consideration. So it's very important that you sit down with yourself and think, what are my terms? What are my terms for just a regular friendship? What are my terms for a more romantic relationship? What are my terms when I'm working with someone? So you can be clear about them from the beginning. And then that way, as you go and you proceed through and get to know this person and develop a relationship with them, you will recognize when there's a term that needs to be stated. So the best example that I have is a relationship where two people are falling in love and it's peaches and cream and everybody's nice, and then little by little their personalities start to come out. And it's possible that one of them has a way of speaking that's more aggressive than initially they were speaking. So if one of your terms is I would like to always be spoken to with respect, and you wrote that down and you're aware of it, then the first time that that person doesn't speak to you with respect, you can say to them, I would like to always be addressed in a respectful manner. Can you accept that? Can you do that? Do you agree to that? And if you do it just then, right then, it'll be a lot easier than if, you say to yourself, it was just this one time, they were a little tired, a little crabby, and then it happens again, and then again and again, and now you are in a verbally abusive relationship, you are pretty attached to that person, you love that person already, and how do you go backwards? So by making a list of your terms of what you find acceptable and what you find not acceptable in a relationship, it will help you to identify this as you proceed and get to know someone. Because of course there was a comment about it, and it's how do you know? How do you know? What you meet somebody say, okay, well, I like this and I don't like this and I will do this and I won't do that. It might seem a little strange and out of place. It's like, well, we just met. Why are you telling me all this? So you need to be aware of your terms so that you will know when it's time to explain to the person early what they are. And you'll be able to recognize it from the very first time that that's something that you don't want to accept. And if you can't state it in advance, that's great. I have a crazy example is that, I don't know, but for some reason I don't like to listen to 80s rock anymore. I listened to it when I was a teenager, and I've traveled all over the world, and I've heard all sorts of ethnic music that I love, and just the 80s rock brings back memories of angst from my teenage years. So that's something that I need to state from the beginning, like, what kind of music do you like? Because if they like 80s rock, I'm not going to date them, and they might be very nice people, or a very nice person, rather. Or that person could say, that's okay, I like the other music, I can listen to the 80s rock when you're not around. But I don't want to get into a relationship where 80s rock comes on the radio and we get into a fight about whether or not we're going to listen to it. Oh, well, she already stated her term. She doesn't like 80s rock, so we're going to change the channel. That's just a simple example, but it can cause a lot of arguments. The radio in the car can be a serious provocation if two people don't like the same music. So sit down with yourself and write your terms out, what you will accept and what you won't accept from a romantic relationship, from just a regular friendship, from a business relationship, so you can be clear. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about standards, because that's also very important. But we'll leave it for the next video.